Right, let's get into it. Today, we're tackling a case that's just, well, it's incredibly complex, isn't it? You've got this brutal crime, swift legal action, but then this really haunting mystery that just hangs over everything. It won't let the family or the community rest. It's just raw human drama.
It really is. And what strikes me is how it highlights this fundamental tension.
Hmm.
You know, with our idea of justice, we can get a conviction, we can get a sentence. But sometimes the deepest questions, the ones that truly haunt families, they remain completely out of reach for the courts.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. Our goal isn't just to, retell the story. We want to pull out those critical nuggets, those key insights from all the information we've looked at. So you, the listener, walk away really understanding this very multifaceted case. We're talking José Morales, the awful murder of Christine Holloway, and then the just heartbreaking disappearance of their daughter, Vanessa Morales. Okay, so let's start with the crime itself. December 2nd, 2019, Christine Holloway, she was 43, was murdered brutally in her apartment in Ansonia, Connecticut. And José Morales, 48 at the time, he was the one. He bludgeoned her to death, the reports say, allegedly with a blunt object, left her body in the bathtub. And, what makes that detail even more chilling is his attempt right after the attempt to clean up, to conceal evidence. That's significant, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That immediate effort, that attempt to obscure the truth after such a vicious act, it speaks volumes. It tells you about the perpetrator's mindset, right? Not just the violence, but the calculation afterwards, that intent to evade accountability. And that wasn't just a footnote either. It led to a distinct charge evidence tampering. That really strengthened the prosecution's case about his state of mind, his intent.
But the real pivot here, the thing that just grabs you, I think, from all the sources, is what happened or didn't happen. Next, Vanessa. Christine's little girl, only 14 months old. She went missing right around the same time her mother was killed. Last seen November 29th, 2019, just a few days before Christine was found. They put out an Amber Alert, naturally, but this has never been found. And José Morales, he was looked at for her disappearance right from the start, a suspect. But it's important, I think, to stress that distinction. He was a suspect in her disappearance, but he was never actually charged with anything related to her disappearance. Not enough direct evidence, apparently.
That's a crucial distinction, yes. And the search for Vanessa, I mean, it's still active. They've released age-progressed images trying to show what she might look like now. And her family, the police, they keep appealing for information. Any little thing is just this open wound, It persists. Even with the legal case moving forward on the murder, it makes the whole idea of justice feel, incomplete.
Incomplete. Which brings us to the court proceedings. The trial for the murder, Morales actually testified.
Yeah.
Took the stand himself and claimed this wild story. He said 2 intruders attacked Christine with a crowbar, assaulted him too, and then kidnapped Vanessa. He even threw in that he was high on PCP at the time. Now, this testimony went on over 2 weeks in April. For a jury hearing all that for 2 weeks, how does a defense like that usually land? Especially when, they come back so fast.
Well, when a jury deliberates for less than 2 hours after 2 full weeks of testimony, it often tells you one thing pretty clearly, that defense narrative, the 2 intruders story. It likely didn't just fail to convince them, it might have actually alienated them, made the path to a guilty verdict remarkably straightforward in their minds. It really underscores how compelling the prosecution's evidence must have been, or maybe how unconvincing his story was.
Wow. Less than 2 hours. So sentencing day comes. July 14th, 2025. Judge Sherry A. Murphy presided. She called the crime vicious. And she didn't mince words about Morales either. Called him a dangerous person, a significant threat to society, said he deserved a long time in prison. And he got it. 65 years total. That broke down as 60 years for the murder itself, plus an additional 5 years for the evidence tampering.
Right, and that sentence, it definitely reflects the severity, the brutality of the murder, and that calculated attempt to cover it up. It provides a clear legal outcome, a form of judicial closure for the crime against Christine Holloway.
Yes, judicial closure. But then you have the family, the emotional side. Christine Holloway's relatives. The toll is just immense. You could see it. Her aunt, Anna Radonsky, was there at the sentencing, visibly emotional. She demanded justice right there in court and asked that heartbreaking question. The one everyone's thinking, where is Vanessa? How can someone be so cruel? It really highlights how this whole case is still overshadowed by Vanessa's absence. And the family just holding on to hope for answers, hope for closure the courts couldn't give them.
Exactly. And this really gets to that profound duality we sometimes see, right? The legal system can deliver a verdict, justice for a terrible crime, but it can be powerless, utterly powerless to resolve those deepest human questions, especially when a life like Vanessa's is just unaccounted for. So legally, The murder case is resolved, Morales is convicted, sentenced, but Vanessa's disappearance, that remains an open investigation, ongoing.
So, wrapping this up, what does it all mean for us, for you listening? I think this deep dive leaves us with this really chilling contrast, a juxtaposition. On one hand, you have the definitive end of a legal chapter. That 65-year sentence, handed down July 14, 2025, for José Morales, for the vicious murder of Christine Holloway. And on the other hand, this haunting, open-ended mystery, little Vanessa Morales, just 14 months old, still missing, since November 29, 2019. It leaves you with a question, doesn't it? Something to think about in cases like this one, where one truth is found, punished, but another crucial truth remains hidden. What does closure even look like? What form does it take for a family still searching, still waiting for answers?